Well, good morning, everybody. I can see that some people have joined the webinar already. So we're officially kicking off at 10 o'clock, but great to see you in the room nice and early. You're very welcome. Brian is my name. I know I've met some of you already, and hope to pick up a conversation with some more of you afterwards. So we're just going to let people join. We have a good attendance this morning. So lots of interest, thankfully, in Great Place to Work and getting certified and going on the journey. So we're just going to let some of those people come on into the room, and that just takes a little bit of time with Zoom. But you're very, very welcome. So I just give people a moment to join here. Now, so more people in the room. That's great. Keep on coming in. You're very, very welcome. And welcome to this morning's session, where we're going to explore what the journey looks like to become certified as a great place to work, and the support along the way and throughout the cycle as such. So I think there's quite a few people in the room now, so we may start, because I want to make sure we make the best use of your time. And so just to draw your attention to Great Place to Work, while we're here to talk about certified in the journey, to let you know that, Great Place to Work is not just about the recognition. That's fantastic when we get it, but it's not the sole piece. Great Place to Work is a thought leader and a community of shared knowledge. We have fantastic amount of resources on our website, which you have access to, and you'll have more access to more information when you actually are a client as well. But we deliver information, through blogs and podcasts. Just to draw your attention here to the Best Workplaces magazine for 2025, which is really our magazine that celebrates all the organizations that are recognized throughout the country. But also in there's articles around supporting women in the workplace, recognition programs, the importance of employee feedback. So some really good articles you'll hear in there from Tato, from Woody's, Sarasep, Genesis, the IRFU, and many more. And here are some of the organizations that we have that are featured in the magazine, and you'll see from them that look, there's a great mix of Irish organizations, small to medium, and global organizations. So that just gives a sense, I suppose, of Great Place to Work, our community, and who we are. So, as I say, looking forward to this session. We might just do a little test if you know Great Place to Work at all, or me. We talk a lot about the weather, and it's a great week to talk about weather. It's certainly leaving cert weather at the moment. So lovely here on the East Coast. If in the chat box you wouldn't mind just popping in a message to let me know and let us know that you can hear us loud and clear. Let us know what the weather looks like with you. That would be great. When I say we, I'm in front of camera today, but I'm supported by my colleague Akshita, who is running all things tech for me on my side. So yes, great to see some. So it's absolutely sunny in Offaly, and sunny in Wicklow, which is where I am too. The sun is splitting the trees. I'm scrolling along here looking for a comment from Cork, because Cork normally come in nice and quickly. But maybe everybody in Munster is checking the lottery numbers, or checking out to see who they know that might have the lottery numbers. I don't know. But look, that's great. I can see that you're all receiving loud and clear as we go along during the session. If you have any questions at all, please pop them into the Q&A box on the screen, and I will get to those at the end. And I know we have some questions that have been popped into us before the webinar. Now I'm just going to move on to a screen here. So I haven't talked about that piece in terms of community and knowledge. The broader community, Great Place to Work, is global, but in Europe we have a very strong community. This is an exciting report that we launched. Clients already have this, but there's an opportunity for you to download this as well. This is what we call the European Workforce Study. And what we've done here is actually surveyed through the Great Place to Work community right across 19 countries in Europe. So over 1,500 respondents in each country. And the goal here is to measure workplace experience for people in workplaces right across Europe that are not just great places to work, but that are standard workplaces. And it gives us a comparative data of what expectations, what experiences are like in workplaces in each of the different countries. And then we're able to compare those with our own data from those in Great Place to Work. So it really highlights the attitudes of Irish workforces in workplaces in areas such as leadership, flexibility, psychological safety, well-being. And it gives us that opportunity, as I say, to compare great workplaces in Ireland with other workplaces in Europe, but importantly, the Irish employee experience in the Irish workplace as well. So there's a whole range of information in this study. So I'd encourage you to have a look. Just one particular area that popped in here was to look at the scores and around the expectation. So the question was, would knowing a workplace has been certified as a great place to work by its own employees make you more likely to want to join there? The European average is 55%. In Ireland, it's 70%. And that's really, really interesting because that shows, I suppose, the pressure that's on workplaces to attract the best talent and the expectations that are there. And this is where Great Place to Work can really give you some insights in there. So an opportunity to pop out your phone and download that report to this QR code. And I believe Akshita will share a link also during the session that we have this morning. And the last area then in relation to our community is to announce that the Employer Branding Summit is coming up again. It's in November. These are some pictures from last year. So you'll see a great crowd, lovely bit of sunshine. You'll also see a Christmas tree in there, which seems far away from us now. But we had a really, really great session last year. We had some exceptional speakers in the room. We heard from Cisco, from CPL, Irish Distillers, Skillstack, and Heineken. A really great session there. And in fact, Heineken were on our last podcast with Marina, a really, really deep session working with Atomic to look at how they build out their employer brand and what an employer brand is. So this year we're going to have some really experienced speakers, and we're covering some key topics like storytelling and how to strengthen your employer brand. So another QR code for you, but an opportunity there to get in early on the early tickets before we go out into broader sale into the market. And so this morning's session really is an invitation for you to participate in this session with me so that we can learn together and get into some of the details. So we're going to have two polls. And as I've mentioned already, there's an opportunity to ask questions as we go along. My aim, and if I do my job well today, is that you leave with a really good understanding of the key elements of the process. So we'll be talking very much around headlines of what's involved in the process, how we run the program. Because we have such a range of organizations, I had a check on who's registered. So there's a great range of organizations from small, medium, large organizations. So we'll be covering very much the headlines there. Love you to see that the support that we give before we run the survey and also while the survey is live, and then importantly afterwards in action planning out of the survey. It's a 3-year program. That's how we engage with organizations. You wouldn't do this for just 1 year. So it's a continual improvement piece of work with your people in your organization. So we'll be able to show you the support that we give you ongoing there, and then importantly, action planning. And so then in follow-up to this session, what I'd like to do is invite you each to have a one-to-one session with me. And that's where we'll get into the granular details around your organization, its size, your people, the relevant pricing for your organization and the investment that you'll be looking at throughout the 3 years. So that's really the important pieces there. We're going to have our first poll now, which would just be an interesting one and should pop up on your screen. So the question is, do you believe your workplace has a great workplace culture already? And this is a yes or a no. So if you could just pop your response in there, that would be great. Just waiting on this side for the poll results to pop up, and I'm sure they will pop up for me in a second. And here they are. So interestingly, so 66% say that yes, it is for them already a great place to work, and then 34% no or not yet. And that's really interesting. It's quite a skew towards organizations that believe you're already a great place to work. And that's great. So looking forward to joining with you and hopefully getting you recognized. And this is how a lot of organizations often join us, where somebody in the organization will nominate their organization and believe that they are a great place to work, and we can explore that further. Or some of the leadership team will feel that from the work that they've done with their people, that they would love to have that recognized. For organizations that are not yet a great place to work, or don't view that you have a great place to work culture, this is precisely why we are here, to support your journey and to understand what are the things that you need to pay attention to. So it's based, on that employee experience survey, which we're going to come on to, and that gives us that insight around your organization and allows us then to help you focus on the areas that you need to pay attention to. So now organizations are engaging, they're surveying every week, but why? Why would you do this? Why would organizations engage with us? Here are some of the key headlines and some of the strengths of the program. The key one is talent. When we talk about talent, for us, it's about retention first. So what's unique around the Great Place to Work program and the recognition and the award is that it's based on employee feedback. So what it's not is it's not submission based. It's not based on a document. It's based on your employee feedback. So we know then, from that survey, the results are telling us that what your best people need from the organization to deliver their best performance, for them to feel valued and for them to feel capable in their role and that they are delivering for the organization. So you're looking to get the best performance from your best people. And this is where the survey data brings that to life. In terms of stronger business performance, it's getting the best out of your people. So you can understand that you've got really good people in your organization and you want to get the best from them. And it's using that data that the survey results provide that give us that insight for your people. In terms of employer branding and talent attraction, then understanding what the people that you have and what they need to deliver for the organization, that informs then how do we attract people that are a best fit for the organization. And the survey provides a deep dive throughout the whole business, and I'll cover that in some of the slides coming up to really bring that to life in terms of what your people are looking for. And then we have the recognition opportunity. The opportunity for internal recognition and celebration shouldn't be overlooked, but that external recognition, which starts with certified recognition, is that first step towards the other multiple recognitions that we have that are included in the program. So there's some of the areas that we cover. There's quite a range there, and we put up the second poll here now, and this will give me an opportunity to understand, for the people in the room today, what it is that you're thinking about, and what areas you want to hear more about. That will inform how I'll go through some of the slides in a moment. So if you could just pop in your responses there. It might be employer branding, it could be the certification process, it could be your workplace culture, could be some of the tools and resources provided by the program, or talent attraction and retention, or retention and attraction, as I say. Just let us know. great. So a really good spread of everything. Fantastic. So we're going to jump in here, and this is where we give you a really good sense of the survey and the process and how we support that as we go along to the whole program. So at the core of the program and the process, there's three really big steps here. You've got the survey, and from the survey results, then we have the presentation of your data, which informs action planning, and then we have the opportunity for you to be recognized. So at the core of what we have is an employee experience survey from which you get the insights and recognition. Before the survey launches, though, there's a really important part, and this is where we provide insight for you. So what we want to do is understand your organization, your structure, and who within your organization, if you're a broader group, that we can actually recognize. So this important first step is with our client success team. And this is very much a logistics call around the planning of the survey launch. And before we launch the survey, how we pay attention to pre-survey communication. It's really important that your people understand and know that the survey is completely anonymous and their responses are confidential. So communicating that is important. Letting people know what the intention of the organization is to do with the survey results is important as well. So our client success team are highly experienced and they will help you with all of this. Now, you'll be writing your own communications. We're not going to take that on or take that away from you. It's your organization. You understand your culture, your environment, but we'll give you steer on what are the important things to pay attention to. On that call, we'll be sharing a really important document, which we call the employee file. And that gives us a sense of the structure of your organization and where you have people in terms of role, by team, by location, by manager grade. So it's not an org chart, but it's more of a map as to what the organization looks like. And I suppose thinking with the end in mind, then it's really in terms of, well, when we're coming back with your data, how best can we share that data with you that will inform leadership and give you a really good sense of what the perception and the understanding of your people within the organization is. Another document is the brief document, and this is a short document that you complete. And what this is how you'd like us to profile your organization once you're certified. So part of a benefit of being certified is that you get a profile on our website. And the good news here is that you control that and you can populate that with information. In fact, you can post job roles in there as well. So in this document, we're really capturing brief headlines. A lot of it will be on your website already, and you can connect your website to our website and from our website back to yours. So we're capturing that information. And then on the call, we're selecting and agreeing when the survey go live date is in terms of the launch date and the key milestones that we want to have in place in terms of IT testing and so on, and that employee file in advance of that, and looking to launch the survey then. So the survey window, as standard, is held open for 2 weeks. And then when we close the survey, then we're in position to come back to your leadership team with the data and with the information and start to look at action planning from the survey statements and from the open-ended questions that we have in the survey as well. And then based on your score, we have the opportunity for that first recognition, which is to be Great Place to Work certified. And that is annualized. So there's no deadline with regard to engaging in the process. You can survey when suits the rhythm of the organization. And once you achieve certification, that then is validated for 12 months. So as I said earlier on, it's a 3-year program. And so what I've covered there is very much the headlines of one cycle. And you would be looking to run this cycle in each year of the 3 years. And then working with the outputs from year 1 into year 2 and year 2 into year 3 and starting to build that up. The survey itself has a range of statements within the survey, and they inform 17 categories. So this is a really deep dive into your organization. We group up these 17 categories under the title of achieving organizational objectives is the key area. Next one then is people giving their personal best. And then finally, people working together as a team. So when we talk about somewhere being a great place to work, a key piece we're paying attention to is trust and the quality of the workplace relationships within the workplace. So the relationship between managers and their people, and how they are in touch and supporting them. So while we're surveying all of your people, this is not a happiness index. This is actually checking in on people. And what we're really measuring is how well are they aligned to the strategy of the organization? How well are they feel supported to do their job and to do their role? And where are there opportunities for us as organizations to build trust with our people, to build commitment, to build more support so they can deliver for the organization? So it's really important to understand that we are focused on the organization first and achieving the organizational objectives. The best organization to be part of is a successful one, and it could be successful by people understanding these areas. And people giving their personal best is more granular and more around teamwork, line management, and career progression as areas that we can focus on. And then in terms of working together as a team, we're able to give you scores around your engagement score, your culture, health and well-being. So really key areas in there that we look at as well. So I have a couple of slides here, a selection of sample feedback slides and what they look like. So just into that area of achieving organizational objectives, some of the areas that we measure around communication and involvement, strategy and direction, performance management, and then ESG, environmental, social, and governance. So governance. We'll be coming back to you with your score versus certified, and we have a range of benchmarks that we can work with you to show how well you're scoring in relation to benchmarks, and they're really key. So we have sector benchmarks, and we'll be able to understand your organization in an Irish context as well. Give you an idea of some of the data that comes back in terms of, and these are all sample organizations, so these are not slides from one organization at all, but it just gives you a sense of people who responded by the job roles that we picked up in the employee template in the beginning. We have some gender information, tenure, age, work status, and so on. Another way we look at the data, which I touched on earlier, is in relation to trust. So we're able to show, well, how many people in your organization are in a state of high trust, how many are in medium, and then those that are in low, and what do we need to do? And we can dig into that further to see, well, where do your managers lie? Where do particular functions or roles or team sit in relation to trust scores? And this is just one slide from the 17 categories to give you an idea around communication and involvement. So here are the statements that inform communication and involvement. So I can ask management any reasonable question and get a straight answer. Management is approachable and easy to talk with. Management involves people in decisions that affect their job or environment. And finally, management keeps me informed about important issues and changes. So we'd have your score. In this examples here, there's best large and best small. And then we have, your organizational score versus those benchmarks, and then getting into those job roles that you'll have shared with us. So I hope that gives a sense of the data that's available in the survey, and the insights that provide us with the opportunity to action plan. Now, depending on the size of your organization, there's an opportunity as well to have dynamic reporting and a dashboard feature, which we call insights. And so we set this up with you, again, with client success, and help the organization develop that so that throughout the organization, people that you decide can have access to that information can start to look at that. So that's really just a focus I wanted to give into the data, the support, and the information that we use around action planning. I just come back to the survey here in terms of the methodology. So the methodology in our survey is that, as such, in the main part of the survey, I mentioned earlier, we have 73 statements. So the core part of the survey is that we make statements. They're always short and they're positive. This example here is, I'm proud to tell others I work here. We would also have, my manager keeps me up to date with important information. My manager makes their expectations clear. And so these are short positive statements. People are continually answering on a grid or a Likert scale of 1 to 5. So the response for 5 is almost always true. and the response for 4 is often true. So this is important. So both 4 and 5 we consider to be a positive response in terms of your data, but in terms of being Great Place to Work certified and being recognized, this is also considered to be a positive score in here. So when we're talking about being certified and achieving a certain standard, these are the responses that we're looking for. And importantly, I would say it's key here to understand that when we say somewhere is Great Place to Work certified and then can be considered for a best workplace, that they're not perfect. I wouldn't like you to think for a minute that everybody who's a best workplace or who's Great Place to Work certified is scoring, 10 out of 10 or 5 out of 5. We're saying from a positively framed statement, people can score 4 and 5, and that is considered to be a positive score. We have all organizations right across the country, and they will all have people that are in medium trust and in lower trust as well. So that is absolutely fine. So we have that range of statements. People respond to the survey. It takes them on average between 12 and 14 minutes to fill in the survey. We do have 3 open-ended questions as well. So we ask why it's a great place to work, what would make it a better place to work, and importantly then, why would you recommend somebody to come and work here? Why would you recommend somebody to come and work here is starting to inform your employer brand. What are people saying internally about your workplace that you need to get that narrative and that copy, if you like, externally, so you can kind of control your employer brand in the market and in the candidate pool that you're looking to get into. And then certified. So what is Great Place to Work certified? So when an organization has gone through the process, run the survey, Great Place to Work certified is a standard that you achieve. And the standard and score that you're looking for is an average of 65% from a core set of statements in the survey. Not all the statements, but a core set of statements within the survey. And once you achieve that standard, you are Great Place to Work certified, and that is automatically annualized for 12 months. So for example, you could be certified from August 2025 around to August 2026. We'll connect you directly in then with our marketing team, our digital marketing team. They will share all the logos with you that you need in all the formats. They're all included in the program and in the setup and in the engagement that we have with you. We'll also co-celebrate on LinkedIn and on the other various channels to make sure that you're leveraging that. We'll be in touch with you then to make sure you're activating and using the logo to, I suppose, use it as an opportunity. So being Great Place to Work certified is fantastic, but it opens the door for you as an organization to say, well, this is what it means to us. This is why it's important to us, because our people are important to us. So it is that, that first level, and it's based purely on the score. There's, no other scoring document involved to be Great Place to Work certified. And then we can help you really leverage that through. So what it relies on, we do need that culture brief that I mentioned at the start of the session. So that allows us then to profile your organization really well on our website and help you inform that. And it's, as I say, it's validated for 1 year. So I hope that gives a good sense of the program and what we can provide for you. As I say earlier on, if you're curious about anything, I'd love to have some questions. I can see 1 or 2 questions come in there already, and we have some in advance from people before the session started. I might just pop over onto this slide here, which gives you a visualization really of what one of the cycles looks like in terms of all the pieces that I've touched on there. And it can look like a lot there with a lot of the little cogs moving. But what I would stress is that we have developed this system and this process now, so that's very light on your desk, on your side. We understand that you're busy people, organizations are busy. You don't need another huge project landed on your desk with a lot of moving parts to understand. We are providing the supports. So you'll see in all of those areas that there is individual support for each of you. Now, so Caroline's asked a question there, and it's a good one. Hi there. And the question is, hi there. Can you show an example of a job posting through Great Place to Work website for one of your certified organizations? I'm curious to see how it looks for job seekers. So I can't show you that live, Caroline, but I can certainly follow up with you directly and share multiple links. So the job sharing is just part of it. A big part is where organizations will actually get to talk about their workplace culture, what their style as an organization is, give profiles of some of the leadership. You know, I know Castle Leslie have produced with us a infographic recently, and that's a really good one to look at. ORS is another company that jumps to mind over the years that have done some really good work. But I'd be more than happy to share that with you individually afterwards. Another question that came in from Damien before we started was when to start. The question was, when do we start? So that's very much your call as an organization. We can start with you when you're ready. I would say, you know, a good way to think about that is, well, maybe when do you need the data from the survey? Do you need that to inform a strategic planning session? Do you need that at the start of a particular cycle? Or is it more a case that you are focused on the certification element and you really want to look into that piece? So we can start whenever you want to. It's a simple process, as I say. What I would say is pay absolute attention to pre-survey communication and planning to make sure that that is all in place. The survey window, as standard, is fixed for 2 weeks, but we can start whenever you need to. So another question that came in before the session was regarding having people overseas. So is Great Place to Work a survey just for Irish organizations, or what happens if we have people overseas? So you'll have gathered already from the European Workforce Study that we're right across Europe, but we're in 60 different countries as well. So we can run, and we do run, global projects all the time. And what we would have there, quite simply, is to have Ireland as an anchor project, and then we tag in the other countries. And once you're including the other countries, then you're automatically gaining access to the recognitions that are available in those countries as such. Now, another question from Rachel here, and it is, let me just read this. The journey to become a Great Place to Work. Okay, I'm not sure that's a question. I think it's a copy through. Oh, sorry, Rachel, your question is in the chat. Let me go over and have a look here. Okay, sorry. So I missed that. Very good, Rachel. So there we go. So the question from Rachel is, what if your company is across Ireland, UK, and USA? Can Ireland do all three, or will I have to do 3 different Great Place to Work processes with each Great Place to Work country? Very similar to the question that came in advance, Rachel, and thanks for it, but it's a clearer question, actually. So if your company is in Ireland, UK, and USA, what we will do is run the one survey from here. Client Success will support you in Ireland to run that process across all those countries. You would provide a culture brief for each of the countries, but it's one survey at the same time across those countries. And then from that data, if you're Great Place to Work certified, you'd have the opportunity to be certified in Ireland, UK, and the USA. The certification standard is identical in each of those countries, and you would have an individualized logo for each of those countries as well. Once you're certified, similar to the slide that's on the screen at the moment, you'd have the opportunity then to be included into, for example, best workplace for health and well-being, or best workplace in tech, if that's relevant, or best workplace for women as well. So Jenny has asked a question here: at what point do companies do the culture audit in the cycle? So there's 2 different pieces here, and just to be absolutely clear. So we have what we call a culture brief. And the culture brief is that headline information for organizations that we use to profile your organization on the website and to build your employer brand. Once you're certified, if you're a large organization, so typically say 300 and above, once you're certified, you can be included in best workplaces. If you're that large organization, we do look for a culture audit at that stage. but a culture audit is not required for small or small to medium organizations. So it's purely for larger organizations, and they will typically do that during the process, during the cycle throughout the year. There is a deadline for inclusion in best workplaces in 2026. And so we'd be certainly looking for your culture audit by the end of October. So that would be what that sort of timeline would look like. So Alex, thank you for the question. The question from Alex is, are the recognition opportunities different in different countries, or is it always the 5 on the screen here? So the 5 on the screen, Alex, are the ones that are available in Ireland. In the US and in the UK, purely because of population size, there is an opportunity to have more recognitions, and we are building up more recognitions in Ireland as we go along. But to answer your question, there are more recognition opportunities. So I think it was Rachel had asked the question about the US. So for example, when I'm talking to Rachel directly about that, I'll be able to share the full list of recognitions that are available in the US. I'm happy to share that with you also. Sarah, question here. If you're running, oh, hi, Sarah. Didn't recognize your name straight away there. If you are running the survey in multiple countries, should you assign someone in each office to manage once certified, or does it make sense for it to be fed through Dublin? Are there entry dates different across countries? So there's a couple of questions in there. So running across multiple countries, there's no need to assign somebody in each office to manage, because the survey is run live from Ireland here. Once you're certified in the country, it's good to have a person on the ground there who can absolutely leverage that logo into your local market and to share that. And we'll be connecting in with you in that regard. In terms of different entry dates, there are not different entry dates for certification. So certification is live, and as I say, once you achieve that, it's validated for 12 months, and it's run right across the 12-month time span there. There are different dates in different countries for best workplaces, and that's where your local affiliate in each of those countries then will engage with you and look after that to manage the timelines around that. But you're automatically included in that. There's nothing further for you to do or to manage. The local affiliate, for example, in the UK, in your case, Sarah will connect in with you and inform you then of what the timelines look like. So because we're across the globe, there are different timelines, there are different times for celebration. The benefit of certification is that it's validated for 12 months, and the idea is that once you're certified, you keep that validated. So there was one other question that came in. What if you don't get certified in year one? And what do you do then? And that's absolutely fine. That's where some organizations go through that, and that's absolutely normal, I would say. So what we have then is we have your data. We can understand where you did not achieve the 65% on average, and they're the areas that we can focus on. And the second part of this question was, do you have to wait a year to survey again? You don't. So having surveyed, we'd be helping you with action planning, focusing on that. I'd certainly say allow 6 to 8 months to allow traction in the specific area, and then we can look to survey again. Once you're certified and you're validated, that probably sets the rhythm then in terms of when you would survey again in the following year. Jody, question, is there a different payment policy for specific categories? Is it more costly for the overall best workplaces recognition, or is there no difference? And on that, what is the guide cost for gaining recognition? So Jody, there is no different payment policy. The program is such that, as I say, it's a 3-year program. You engage for 3 years. We do an exploratory call and work with you to understand the size of your organization, the level of support you're going to need, the amount of reporting that you might need. And we have all that set up absolutely clearly and agreed with you. And then you're paying annually as you go along. So organizations do not need to pay in advance for the 3 years. They're paying each year as they go along. So there isn't really a guide, as you can understand from what I've just said there. No two organizations are the same by size, by scale, by location, by requirement. So we don't have an off-the-shelf package. It's very much building up what is specific for you. But what I would say is it is really, really good value for the organization, pays back to the organization in multiple ways. There is no additional cost as you go along for the other recognitions. Everything is included in what we do. So thank you for that question, and I look forward to picking up with you. I think Akshita will have shared possibly a meeting link for you to clip in with me. I can see a couple of people have booked in already. But thank you very much for joining this morning. We're bang on time. It's 10:39, and the sun is still shining in County Wicklow here. I hope it's been valuable for you to give you that overview, and I really look forward to picking up conversations with you individually, engaging with you, and hopefully recognizing you as Great Place to Work certified, and in the future best workplaces, and hopefully learning from you in terms of some of the practices that you have. So thank you very much for this morning, and look forward to speaking to you soon. Thanks everybody. Have a great rest of week. Thank you now.